I tweeted this yesterday. Arter did his own version of the Harley text. Now we have four different translations now of the Harley text. We have the One Piece scan version. We have the TCB updated version. We have the Viz Media version, the official version. And then we have the Library of O'Hara Arter's version that he did, okay? So there are literally four different translations. Here is the One Piece scan version of all three worlds, okay? The first world. There was fire upon the earth. Humanity succumbed to desire and touched the forbidden sun. The slaves made a wish, and the god of the sun appeared, but the god of the earth became enraged. And alongside the serpent of hell enveloped the world in death and darkness. They could never meet again. Second world. There was breath upon the emptiness. The god of the forest sent forth demons. The sun merely spread the embers of war. The people of the half moon dreamed. People of the moon dreamed. Humanity killed the sun and then ascended to divinity. The god of the sea became enraged. They could never meet again. Third world. There was a void upon the chaos. The forbidden shadows remembered the day of promise, and they hear the voice of the fragmented moon. The god of the sun dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun will return and a new dawn will come. They will surely meet again. The TCB updated version is this. The first world. The earth is engulfed in flame, and the hearts of men burn with desire. They reach for the forbidden star. From worship prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved. The god of the land was enraged with the serpent of fire. They cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell, death reigned. They could not meet again. Second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summoned its devils, while the sun lit the embers of war. Those of the half and full moons dreamed. Yet, see, like in the TCB version, they actually don't separate the lines there, but either way. Yet, the ones who slew the sun deified themselves, invoking the wrath of the sea god. They will not meet again. Third world. Chaos reigns, the world drifts into a void. Yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the half moon echoes through the ages, and once more the sun shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. The sun is reborn. A new dawn will break. Surely this time they will meet. So those are the ones we know so far. And now let's get to the new ones. This is the Viz Media version that just came out yesterday. The first world. Within the earth, there was fire. So right there, they say within the earth. In this one, they say the earth was engulfed in flame. The earth, there was fire upon the earth. All right. Because now it feels like it involves, like the actual core of the planet in some way, which may involve ice and sphere, hollow earth shit. Exactly. Well, that's you want to take things very literally, right? So within the earth, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. So you get that sense too in the previous ones. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. So there's a particular, you could argue, notation of hellfire, which then does coincide with the next part's devils. You can argue that. So let's say, for example, what we see on the black fire that we see with the elders, and let's say with Shamrock and near Gunko, you can argue that's like maybe hellfire, right? Potentially. Maybe that's Zoro. Maybe what Zoro has is hellfire, those green embers. Maybe that's hellfire, right? But either way. So you can argue that there's more notation to underworld hell stuff in the Viz Media transition in the first world compared to the previous versions where they don't necessarily mention anything that's, let's say, supernatural demon-like, you could argue. Again, if you take it at face value. So, I mean, well, to be fair, Serpent of Hell is there. So you have Serpent of Hell in that version. But in this version, you have Serpent of Fire. So I guess in the One Piece scan version, they say Serpent of Hell. But this one, they just say Serpent of Fire. Within the void, there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. In the other versions, they kind of say where, okay, the god of the forest summoned devils, or the god of the forest set forth its devils, but now it's saying, okay, no, the god of the forest tamed the demons. So it feels like, okay, if you take the tame the demon parts from the Viz Media version, and then you compare that to the TCB version or the One Piece scan versions, in the One Piece scan versions, I mean, I guess you can argue that you get a better sense that, at least in TCB, that these devils already existed. If they're actual literal devils, it was able to set them forth throughout the entire world, per se. But it feels more like that'd be devil fruits, in like no matter what. But either way, I think no matter what, they're all tied to the breath in the void. Within the world, within the void, within the darkness, there was this breath. And then the forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread fires of war. So I feels like there's a conjoining here, no matter what, of there was something in the emptiness, the void, the darkness, right, that was breathing. It had life, breath. And then this affected the forest god to somehow tame, create, or summon demons. And then the sun god, at this point in time, probably Joy Boy, is the one that helped spread the fires of war, right? So Joy Boy was the first pirate, is the one that initiated the war against something, right? Those of the half moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed. They will never meet, and that's that part there, and they never meet. Now the third world. Within the chaos there was an emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half moon. That feels a lot more like what Emu said about the D clan, how they do not know what they are, but it's still inconvenient as they're around, essentially, where they're still there. They've lost all their power, but they don't know what they are because that history is lost, hence the emptiness. So emptiness is a word that I think is interesting that they use here for the Viz version. I do prefer the sort of yet time does not erase the memory. I think that's actually more in Locke. So let's say Dr. Hilo Luke's words about how when does someone die when they're forgotten, and how the memory of the sun god still exists despite the efforts of the world government to erase the sun god from existence. People still believe in the sun god Nika, like to this day, and that memory of the sun god is what keeps the sun god ultimately alive. If you're forgotten, then you'd be dead, essentially. Within the chaos there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall their promised day and hear the voice of the half moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. This is Arter's version. The first world within the earth, there is flame. Within the earth. So Arter's version co-signs what the Viz Media version says about how within the earth there is flame. People succumb to desire as they seize the forbidden sun. The slaves wished and prayed. The sun god appeared. The earth god grew furious, and with the hell flame serpent enveloped the world in death and darkness. He and they could not meet again. Now see, this is the first time we have the last part at a he, and they will never meet again. They never meet again. They could not ever meet. Okay, so they could never meet again. It's always they, right? They, and they will never meet. It's always a they. But then now Arter says, and according to him, this is the, what is it? He says it's the most direct Japanese translation possible, according to what Arter says. All right, this is as possible to Oda's as what Oda's version could possibly say. Right. Within the nothingness, there is breath. The forest god sent forth devils. The sun only aggravated. That's a weird thing. The forest god sent forth devils. The sun only aggravated the fires of war. Actually, I had to finish reading. The sun only aggravated the fires of war. The people of the half moon had a dream. The people of the moon had a dream. People killed the sun and became gods. The sea god rampaged. He and they could not meet again. And then world 3. Within the chaos there is void. The meddlesome lingering shadow shall remember the day of promise. Once again, more came with the Viz Media translation. They will listen to the voices of the half moon, of the half broken moon. The sun god dances, he laughs, he leads towards the world's end. The sun will return, a new morning will arrive. He and they will surely meet again. So there may not necessarily be aliens, quote unquote, but rather there are people that actually moved to escape and then they came back down when the moon lost its resources. So, but I can understand why they you think that we get that they're actual OG god aliens. Yes, because the only thing that's actually supernatural, you can argue, maybe not supernatural, but the only thing that's like very, very interesting is that they don't explain, no translation explains the forbidden sun. The forbidden sun is still unexplained. Where did it come from? Why is it there? Right? The sun, quote unquote, the sun, the forbidden sun, it could be the energy of the planet. Actually, you know what? That's interesting. Okay, now that I think about it, within the earth there is a flame. People succumb to the desire and they seize when they say seize the forbidden sun, within the earth there is fire. Mankind succumb to greed and touch the forbidden sun. This actually may coincide a lot better with the imagery that we see here. Time out. There's an image right here of people going into what seems to be the planets. And then they take these stars, and then these stars go into the city. Planet hockey mining, if you read Arter's version and you read the Viz Media version, it actually seems to coincide a lot more with the idea that folks were f***ing around with the forbidden sun that was inside somewhere in the planet. And then they use that energy for their own purposes. But as a result, this enraged the god of the earth. So in a sense, messing with the forbidden sun inside of the planet around, like it messed with the topography of the planet. And then the planet, as a result, because of all these shenanigans that are done to the forbidden star in the center of the world, forced the red line's existence in some way. Because the slaves wished and they prayed. The sun god appeared. So they were able to use the forbidden sun to make the sun god. No, I think it's the eternal flame, not mother flame. I think it's eternal flame, which supersedes mother flame. The earth god grew furious, and with the hellfire serpent enveloped the world. It feels like there could be something akin to a Dark Souls origin story, where you have the existence of the planet that's stone-like dragons rule. You have these giant trees that rule. I think most of the landscape is covered in like these fog, thick, dense fogs. But then there's fire that exists, and the fire is deep underground. And then you have the creation of the furtive pygmy. And then it feels like maybe the sun god Nika could be the furtive pygmy version of One Piece, essentially. That's what it kind of feels like. Okay, you know what? I just thought about something, because I was gonna say before, why is it that we see the stars over here? Why is it the energy that we see over here that folks are carrying out? Why is energy also next to the moon? That to me is some weird act. Like, why is that so? But I guess you can argue if there is a sun that's inside of the planet, mother flame inside of the planet, then it could be the power of the stars. Therefore, it would be the same. It'd be like the image itself could be more figurative, or it could be a hint that the stars that we see around in the night sky is the same sort of power that we're seeing, folks. Nuclear fusion, bro. I mean, well, yeah, fair enough. I'm not gonna deny that. Nuclear fusion. But keep in mind that, again, the mother flame is not as good as the eternal flame. Keep that in mind. 1. 2 is that it still doesn't answer why folks are dying. I don't understand. Why are folks with halos over their heads, why are they going down? That's what I thought could be more figurative too, because that has to be answered. Why are people that are dead, halo, why are they going down? Yeah, so the three beings, we have the Shandians, Brigand, the Skypeans, we have the Automata, and then we have this particular sun entity right here of some kind. And then we have, yeah, the being, wait, does he mean just the, okay, I don't know if he means these beings right here. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if they're beings, because this is like the sun, which could be more prominent with the actual mother flame, you could argue. Because I remember we did a cross between this thing and the mother flame, right? I'm almost positive we did that for a long time. No, we did for like one of these chapters that came out for. We had this convergence of the mother flame that Vegapunk made, and then the power or the sun, like the sun sort of symbolism that we see over here above the Barikans, the Shandians, and the Skypians. So it felt like to me like it was more so akin to energy. But I see what he's saying though, because I guess you could argue that maybe actually the Shandians, Skypians, the Barikans, they don't actually represent tribes, but actually they represent gods, or they are deities, where they used to serve, like these automata used to serve deities back in the day. Unless he's talking about this, and this, which maybe one is Uranus, the other one is Pluton, and then this is Poseidon. So you can argue that, so this may not actually represent Earth or the blue sea, but rather it represents Poseidon. This, I don't know what the hell this could be Uranus, Pluton, and then this could be Uranus. That's possible too. That's possible too. I won't deny that. This bird, I think, is the Forbidden Sun. It either is the Forbidden Sun or it represents the Forbidden Sun in some way, with the powers that are beyond what Earth, remember the unnatural existence that Vegapunk said? The powers are unnatural to the planet itself in some way, whether it be through space means and alien means, or other planes of existence means, whatever it is. They're unnatural to the planet in some way, and this bird represents that, yes. So this chicken represents the sun goddess, Forbidden Sun. It came from down on high and is fighting against the land. This is locked up with the Vegapunk's mentioned about the powers, unnatural existence, while the white star, after Luffy's attack, the chicken is also over the tree, meaning that if it could, that it could be the breath that stirred in the abyss, aka the Forbidden Sun. Right. Yeah. But again, mining does not answer the halos at all. The halos are still weird. It's almost as if like it is all literally happening as it says it is. We don't know why it's happening, but we know that it is happening. The question is, okay, so then now I'm starting to think here. I don't know if the Arc Maxim is, if folks actually escaped or not, or is it more or less aliens that came down in the first place because of the Arc Maxim? Hence why, so the lightning bolt itself may not be a road or some kind, but rather it's actually it's a sign of them having the, like with the building, and they're also signs of using electricity. They're using electricity because they have the, at that point in time, the means to do it. So is that why it's also going down beyond Frankie too? So is the star power that they're getting from the Forbidden Sun in the planet what powers the electricity that they use to fuel the cities across the world? And then that same electricity is what they use for Arc Maxim to leave the planet, or an actual attack? It could be an attack on the land itself. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, it's possible. Let me see here. Fuck this. Ancient pacifistas? Nah. I don't think we get that concept up until Act or World 2. Okay. And so if this makes more sense now, I suppose you can argue. I was wondering why the stars were near the moon like that. And I still think it could be figure of speech. I think it also, not figurative, it could be more figurative, but it could be a sign that people were able, like the Lunarians or the ancient winged people, or the gods, if you want to call them that, they were able to bring up the resources from the planet to the moon and survive on the moon for a period of time until they had to return back down at some point in the past. The Ark is powered by electricity, and the city as well. The Forbidden Sun is likely the power source that they brought with them to the moon. Okay. I'm gonna go with that idea. Some things I'll get touched on later on, but for now, I'll just go with that here. So I think there's things that to cover up, things that to look at again. I don't know if the 19 folks actually matter that much, but I'll just put it here. 19 people shown in the lift. Same number of people, same number of kingdoms as the that made the world government. Okay, just under 20. I think the hole they go down in the mural is could be Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby was the gateway to the Forbidden Sun. that could be the One Piece treasure, maybe? If Enies Lobby is the key to go down and get the resources of the Forbidden Sun, why the aren't Emu and company doing that as we speak? I feel like Enies Lobby would be the most heavily guarded place on Earth by the Marines and the world government. They would have locked this shit down like you wouldn't believe. And they would have a monopoly on all energy across the entire planet, but they don't. To be fair, I think that Frankie could just symbolize Pluton in some way. But yeah, I think Frank could be blocking something, but I'm not too sure if he's blocking anything. All right, not too sure. I'm not against this idea, even though it's a weird idea. This is a very strange idea. But what else could it be? It's not a buccaneer. Sulong Mink. I think it's way too redundant to have minks in there twice. But there's nothing else that fits the bill. Unless there's another race of people that Oda has yet to introduce, like the Ratmen, the Splinter Cell group, Splinters, actually all Splinters. Are they buccaneers for some dumb reason? I have no idea. But I don't see how it's Yamato. Yamato would be a part of the samurai of Wano country. Because, yeah, if the guardian deity, why would the guardian deity of Wano country be separated from Wano country when they're already here? Yamato would be in this camp right here. Yamato would be like literally here, like on this boat. Wano country, Ozu, ancient giants, or Totanta, mermaids, or Neptunians, as they say in the Viz Media versions. Okay, like the ultra big daddy mega sea kings. I think there could be a case to be made that the ancient giants were the predominant giant species, or offshoot, branch, whatever we'll call it. There may have been more ancient giants than regular giants back during the Heian era. Hey, do you think it's possible that the stars themselves represent the three ancient weapons? Poseidon, Uranus, and Pluton? Because why is it three specifically? If these people were mining the undying flame, and as a result angered the god of the earth, then the gods from on high come down and battle the god of the earth, creates a cataclysm of some kind, and so on and so forth, and yada yada. What if, because there's only, oh, there's one over here. Though actually there was a take that Crocodile had that Pluton was in Alabasta, and it's actually in Wano country. So, and it's ironic how this star is like between Alabasta and Wano country, probably Alabasta, huh? Because I'm thinking that this, if the star represents the power of the undying flame of the forbidden sun that was used in the times thousands of years ago, hundreds potentially of thousands of years ago, before the void century, the power of the undying flame, the power of the forbidden star is also embedded into the ancient weapons in some way, shape, or form. Shirahoshi has some of that power in her. The same would go for Pluton, the same would go for Uranus, maybe. Because again, these three are very distinct. They're very distinct. There's a separation between those of the half moon and those of the moon. And it's done in almost every one of these translations. Why is that the case? Why is there a difference here between the half moon and the moon? Who are the moon? We can guess who the half moons are very easily. Who the are the moons? Is it Lunarians? But we see in the NL cover story that the Lunarians, like it is what it is, there are no black people on the moon. Everyone on the moon is white. All we have are, well, I guess the Shandians are like Native Americans. All you have are Barikans, Shandians, and Skypeans, okay? There are no Lunarians on the moon. Zero. No, right, no flames either. Zero flames. So if I don't see a flame on the back, like we do in the picture over here for the Lunarians. But the Lunarians could have been over here in World 1, but at that point in time, they didn't have the flame on their back. That's possible. So I'm thinking people of the, because you know what it is too? Wait, what do they say here? They say that they went back, the Moon City, Bilka, they fled to the blue planet in search of resources. So maybe if we coincide the NL cover story with the mural, the people of the moon could have been the Skypians, the Shandians, and the Barikians that lived on the moon that fled the planet during World 1, or were already there to begin with for their reason, right, as actual aliens, but they were hoping that the sun god and his allied forces would win because they would be the people that they'd want to serve and be with, not the asshole niggas like Emu and company, because they're pricks. So maybe that's why they wanted to, so they dreamed of the success of the allied forces against the forces of darkness. The half moons are the same way. Minks that lived on the moon. I don't know how we get there, but when you view the aliens on the moon, some are very animal-like. Like this guy right here is essentially some sort of space weasel. So, I mean, not long has my dude. Now, this is interesting though, because they do have these sort of pressure suits to them, like pressure gauges, and they would like maintain their body. So you have like these weird, I mean, these guys have crazy ass builds, and of course, like leg mass is nowhere in sight, but they have pressure gauges on them. They have these sort of crocodile snouts. What the hell are you? I have no idea. But this old man, this old like little marsupial, are discussing plotting with this space weasel dude, and Busomari all back Sama, his bear fucking face is down there, for fuck's sakes. Crazy builds that make no sense, but I guess that's how you survive in space, right? Anna fought this dude. This guy is some sort of space rat. Lieutenant Spacey is killed by a space pirate, the merciless space pirate. Divine punishment for the blasphemer, so he just gets annihilated. My man's whole body contorted a crazy ass way after that kick. So all I have to say is that, listen, maybe the minks did live on the moon at first, and then they came down to the planet. There is a greater theory for the planetary theory that I have that I didn't really touch upon, but the idea is that all of the races come from other planets. So, and this will coincide a lot more with the O'Hara globe, where you have, I think it's 7 worlds or 7 moons that surround the one piece moon, but we never really see other moons in the night sky. So if they were used, it could have been used for the Red Lion's creation in some way. However, if that's not the case, you can argue, no, time out. What if instead of all that, what if instead of all that, it was they're just planets in the solar system? So then you argue, okay, if there is, and there clearly is, space people and pirates and technology, we see that for sure in the cover story, then maybe the reality of the story is actually all the races came from other planets. So the ancient giants, the Tontata, mermaids, and fishmen, mink, they're all extraterrestrial people. It's not just the Skypians, the Brickens, and the Shandians, but because we see in book 1, there are no other races except for maybe angels. And then you could argue too that a meth, if you wanted to, could just go up to space and be fine. He would just use his anti-gravity technology, his boots, and just go up there, because his power source is also ancient kingdom related. The original people of Earth that'd be a crazy plot twist. The original people of Earth may not even be the humans that are day to day, almost like a Astra lost in space situation, potentially. So this is, again, the only time the word devil is used in the book 2. Devil could mean the creation of the devil fruits, and the god of the forest is nature / a plant. Or devil could refer to the elders, and the god of the forest is Emu. Nature itself, or a tree like Eve, was creating devil fruits as a byproduct of the forbidden sun existing. Every version, every translation for World 2 starts off with a breath that's in the void. The breath, I think, is the Forbidden Sun and its power affecting the world slash nature. That's what I think. Hence why devil fruits could exist. The wishes and dreams of people were affecting nature to the point where fruits were being spawned from the god of the forest, or the goddess of the forest, or the forest god. Yes. Breath of all things. You know, I don't know if it's a hockey thing, because I don't really get the sense of hockey really at all in this whole, whether it be in the mural or in the Holly text. I don't. Okay, let's try and make a stand real quick on this person. So this, I want to just signify this person to be a giant. I think it's either or. I think it's either a giant or buccaneer. One person may be a Devil user, maybe, like it kind of reminds me of like Nusjiro in a way, maybe, but I can't really get you into that, honestly. So I'm just gonna probably say the Alliance. These are all the Alliance. And then these are the 20 kingdoms. This, I think, it makes the most sense. 20 kingdoms. Though the only problem is that Alabasta should be among these 20 kingdoms, but in reality, they're over. Like, the problem with this being Alabasta too, I won't deny it, is that in Alabasta, it's known that they were under the 20 kingdoms, or they're part of the 20 kingdoms a long time ago. But if they're over here, that would mean that this giant is aware that Alabasta actually does not want to be part of the 20 kingdoms, and in fact, they're working for Joy Boy. So this right here kind of contradicts that this is all the 20 kingdoms. It could be the 19 kingdoms. Let me just put 19 kingdoms instead. Let me just, because technically speaking, you argue that, hold on, if everyone knew that Alabasta was a nation that was siding with Joy Boy and company, then why the hell was Emu so confused about Lily's ties, like her loyalties? Well, okay, you could argue that maybe just this giant knew because the giant just knew in general what the thing was, or you could argue that it's not Alabasta, therefore these are still the 20 kingdoms. As far as I understand, there's gonna be a break next week, so no spoilers, of course. So I'm gonna try and get to like a big stream where everybody else, like with everybody, and we can talk about this chapter, next chapter, and so on at some time next week. So that's my plan of thought right now. Every version, no matter if it's Arda's version or the Viz version or the Scanlations, they always mention the breath. Within the void, there is breath. But it seems to also coincide with the forest god and demons or devils. So I don't know if that means breath of all things, because nothing I think means hockey here. It means to me that, because I think it coincides more with the Forbidden Sun. But I guess we could mark it as a possibility. I'm not against it, but how? I don't know how, but I'll mark it down. Breath could also refer to the breath of all things. If Frankie has a role in this whole mural, if he does role in this mural, then it has to be about Pluton. Oh no, on Friday, A, he makes it, or B, I remember this one. Frankie becomes Pluton, a living ship which is in lockstep with his wanted poster and Oda's bad ending drawings. This is stupid though. There's no way. Like the idea that Frankie turns into a ship on the reel is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Could it happen? Yes, but it's so stupid. Oh, but Oda could do this because Ameth is actually technically a living automata. So maybe Frankie's like, I'm gonna go full board. 19 kingdoms, giant / maid buccaneers, Tontada, mermaids, sea kings, minks, ancient giants, Joy Boy, Nika, Ameth, Alabasta, Wano. We have Sulong Mink. We have the whale tree / Laboon. We have Lunarian. We have Joy Boy. Let me also mark these down. These three I think are signs of the ancient weapons being used. Okay. I had a thought for a second. No, actually, I don't think so. Time out. Is it possible that during the Void Century, the forces of darkness did use all 3 angel weapons against Joy Boy and company? Was Poseidon at that point in time tricked in some way? And so that's why you have the 3 star-like objects around this monster's arm, where it kind of signifies like it's using 3 infinity stones, you know? It's using all 3. Because we still don't know how the ancient kingdom lost. When you have the Lunarians, the Laboon Pods, Joy Boy Nika, Ameth, Sulong Minks, Ancient Giants, Mermaids and Fishmen combined, Tontada, Sea Kings, Minks, Giants, Buccaneers, Wano. How do you lose? Within the earth, there is a flame, a power source that technically is unnatural. It doesn't belong really on the planet, but it's there for whatever reason. People sought the power of the sun, and then slowly started mining for it. If you take things more literal here, okay? People sought the energy of that sun, that forbidden sun, and then they started mining and digging for that sun, right? A lot of folks died in the process of trying to get to that sun. In reality, the power of the sun was just too tempting, because they could get so much things going in their lives with that power, with the energy source. The slaves at the time, who were forced to mine the sun, started to pray, and then the sun god appeared, because the sun god was able to probably utilize, or the people's hopes and dreams, the slaves' hopes and dreams, made manifest into the sun god, the most freest form possible. But as a result, the earth god, an actual deity, got upset, and then with the hellfire serpent, raised hell, volcanic eruptions everywhere, like super volcanoes like Yosemite going off all over the damn place, things like that. Or it could be because of the around with the undying flame, the forbidden sun. It caused issues with the planet itself. Like the planet itself started to go through some major tectonic activity that normally would have happened if they did not around with the forbidden sun. But because they were mining the forbidden sun, they were able, it caused a backlash on the planet. And that backlash is probably the hell flame serpent. Across the midsection of the planet, because they messed around with the forbidden sun for too long, kept on mining it, the red line is a byproduct of the hell flame serpent. It's a byproduct of messing around with the energy of the forbidden sun that's under the ground somewhere. That's the idea. That's the idea. Continent puller. Wait a second. I'm just gonna put a question mark. That's it. Listen, it's not, you know, it's not set in stone. We're just cooking. Okay, relax. Time out. That doesn't mean that every meal has to be perfect, you know. Sometimes we cook and we are Michelin star great. Other times we cook and this shit is not even military rations, you know? Like it just depends. It just depends. You know? Maybe. Looks like Loki. Well, Loki looks like every ancient giant. Well, maybe not every, but yeah, Loki looks like ancient giants essentially, because remember that he has ancient giant blood. There are some giants that have ancient giants blood in them, and that's the blood of the Warland, or no, era of war. So I'm guessing here that this guy is maybe Loki's ancestor or just another ancient giant. Veru. The kid's not a good drawer. Maybe he meant to draw a sword instead of a spear. Karn. Going with the stars being inventions, using the mother flame power. The stars on the right in the sky could be ancient inventions sent to the moon. I bet the ancient giants, the skull. Well, to be fair, as far as you know, it's just a mansion, but I don't know if the skull existed before or after Kaido got there. I'm not too sure. Either way, because it could all be just his mansion that he designed as a skull. But I think it's implied that it was there beforehand. Oh shit! No. I think that this being Emu is way too obvious. It's like timeout. is that really Emu? Does that make any sense if it was just, like, think about it, right? Emu got absolutely annihilated by just a little sip of Joy Boy's hockey. Emu felt the hockey, oh, and then collapsed, and then his wet nurse, Lord Emu, like, whoa, hold on. How can you be that and then be this? Either somebody's lying big time in the mural, or there's something else going on here. That being Emu, I don't think is the case. I think that, remember, it could be Emu, it could also be, or it could be more representative of evil forces, or it could be maybe the forest god or the land god, the god of the earth in some way, because obviously the idea is that Emu referring to Umi in reverse, and that theory we've had like for a long time now, so no one's surprised there. If the mural is the past, maybe the shadow figure is a demon using film red. I like that idea too. That the Neuron family and the other 18 families perhaps manifested through their desires for the sun god's demise. Emu may have some kind of chosen champion to be the vessel for this demon, sacrificing his humanity to become a shadow dictator to maintain world government supreme. It's hard to stretch, but I can explain. So there is the idea that there is a taught musica style demon that can be some, because the sun, if the sun can make, it's almost like a genie's lamp. If the sun can be used to make dreams and wishes come true, wishing upon a star, right? When you wish upon a star, when you wish upon a star, the idea is that those dreams could maybe manifest. So, and we saw with Tom Musica, you'd have the darkness, you'd have the loneliness, the shadows of the men made manifest. So who's to say that this sun can't be representing the forces of darkness trying to make a wish to then, use ancient weapons, that kind of stuff, to destroy Luffy or the sun god and company? Or it could be an actual demon. Yes, that's possible too. It could just be the D. Yeah, half moon, right? Yeah. Like the half moon is not. It's not complicated at all. Like that's honestly, I'm more concerned about the moon than the half moon. Every translation so far has noted to the moon and half moon. The people of the moon had a dream. Who are the folks of the moon? Hence why in World 3 they mention the meddlesome lingering shadows. Shall remember the day of promise. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day. I wonder if the voice of the half moon also refers to the voice of all things too in some way. Hold on. How many folks can use the voice of all things? Oden, as far as you know, is not a D-Clan member. But Luffy's a D-Clan member. He can do it. The same thing goes for Roger. He's also a D-Clan member. But Oden Momonosuke can do it, but they're not D-Clan members. They're Kozuki, but they're not D-Clan members. Because I was thinking, hold on, maybe it's only D-Clan members that can use the voice of all things, but I don't think so now. Can Kaido, as far as I don't know. Momonosuke then, yeah, only Momonosuke, Luffy, Zunisha, and the past we include Oden, and we also include I don't know if the moon folks were superior. Well, in World War maybe. Yeah, if they were separate, yeah. Some Sea Kings, Luffy, Roger, Zunisha, Mono. Well, I mean human beings, like human beings. Yes. So we have Too Lazy, come a good name, much love. The whale seems like the same species of whale that the whale statue Zunisha. The rain can also be what Zunisha is doing by spraying. I actually like that take. Because remember there was an idea before we had where, I don't know if you're here or not, but there was an idea last time we had where the whale, where the water droplets could be significant of the ancient weapons of destruction, because there could have been maybe 16 drops, which would have signified the number 16 death rays, 16 holy bullets, 16 bell ringing. So it could have been like, let's say more synonymous with, let's say, the celestial dragons. But that is a good point. Zunisha does do that thing. And that'll make that more likely to be a Sulong mink. Yeah, hold on. If you have the reign of Zunisha or the reigns of Zo, then you have the whale trio, the whale with Zo, and then you have the minks. This is like all Zo. Yeah. In there. You know, that's actually a pretty good, pretty good call. I like that. This was the, yeah. I think it's the world that they lost. Because I don't know how the person, because, okay. Time out. I have to remember something here. The Harley text and the mural done by the kid are two different things. The Harley text itself has an assumption of the future. That doesn't mean that the image has an assumption on the future. That's a very important thing I have to remember. They're separate. They're not the same thing. They're separate. They're not the same thing. I have to remember that. The Harley text and the image are separate things. Just because the Harley texts say about the future doesn't mean that the actual painting does. Because the Buccaneers are weird in this situation, man. Because you can argue that this may not be Alabasta, which makes more sense because at that point in time in the story, Alabasta would be here. Okay, well, that's all I'll do. Jules, could the devil fruit tree exist a part of Zoe? I'd be surprised if that was the case. I don't think so, though, but I'd be surprised. Karn, while play, the Three Worlds poem, misdirect in presentation. The poem describes the whole history, while the picture is the events that during the Void Century. Yeah, that's an idea where like this is all the Void Century. The problem is that when you read the Harley text actually mentions the idea of the sun existing inside of the world, and then human greed took over. But none of that involves World 2. World 2 has no mention of that, and that's why I have to separate the ones from the other. So where's World 2? You have the first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet again. So you see here, mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. That I think is all World 1. But the forbidden sun is not being touched in World 2. In a way, like not being succumbed to greed at that point in time, you'd argue, right? Because it's not mentioned here at all. The second world, within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed the demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Yeah, and then also in the second world, I'm surprised too, because they say it spreads the fires of war. How can this be World 2 if there are no fires of war? The war is happening here. The world being engulfed by flame is in the first mural. I mean, in the first part 1, but it's also in part 2 too. But it's so the world that's engulfed by flame is coinciding with the flames of war. So how can this section right here be World 2 when there's no flames of war? That only just here in book. Unless you want to say it's the chicken, but the nigga's fighting God from World 1. Oh, I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. Is the chicken fighting the snake across worlds? Meaning that not like, you know, on some like Dragon Ball Z. I'm talking about more or less the imagery seems to coincide with the idea that, at least I would argue, that the tree is the end of World 1, but the beginning of World 2. Not a world in of itself, because this is all World 1. Like the fact that these two things are coexisting is symbolic of World 1's situation of the land god being enraged that the sun god is, that the forbidden sun is being used. That's what the tree and the, at least that's what I argue. I'd argue this, that's why the tree and the bird are conjoined together, because they end book 1 but they start book 2. But I can understand why folks would think that this is actually all book 2, because you have the flooding, and the flooding is when the sea god invokes its wrath, and therefore you'd argue Noah's Ark, and then you escape to the sea, you know. So I can understand why you think that, but I put all of that in book 2. I mean, I put all of that in all this right here. I would say there's also another natural disaster in book 1 as well. Or you can argue this is actually all still book 1 and book 2, but it's more like this. That's your dividing line right there, where this is book 2, this is book 1. Because you don't have book 2 without the Flames of War. And the Flames of War are all right here. They're not presented in the tree area. There is a chance that this mural is showing World 3 on the left side, and World 2 is the middle, since the flooding happens in World 2. However, the Flames of War started by the sun god are only shown on the left side of the image. This mural is bullshit. No mention of Buggy V Clown, but my theory is World 3 is Endgame One Piece. Also, top right Mink. I feel that Yamato durability, but that can be far-fetched as fuck. By the way, what up, big dog? How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just cooking. But I will say this. I don't know how that's Yamato when Yamato would essentially be over here. Why would Yamato be separate from Wano country, who is clearly being defined here and now? That would be shocking. That would be kind of like the guardian deity of the country is not a part of said nation. Huh? What? That's like putting Pell right here and not Alabasta. Like, huh? Like, nigga, you part of Alabasta, dude. But I'm the guardian deity of Alabasta, the Falcon. No, so? And? What, do guardian deities get their own slot? No. We ain't doing that. Could you imagine? Pell gets his own spot. Pell. I mean, actually, to be fair, this man could maybe tank a full frontal assault from an ancient weapon of destruction right to the beak. And he'd be like, nah, dude. Wadewa Falcon, baby. I'm good, yo. She ain't nothing, bro. I've been here before. Like, oh, okay, Pat, we see you. More. 10 from Fitizo. Appreciate you. Hey, Cole. I believe the reason Shamrock doesn't have a double fruit himself is because they believe in their own hockey being superior than double fruits, and because they want to keep their blood pure. Possible. Chaos. Though he may be able to merge with his fruit. He may have his own thing going on too. Because here's the thought, right? This may cry video too once you get to it, because we've been slacking on Shamrock after we did the Cerberus thing. But I mean, can you blame us? Like, we have this. Can you blame us? No offense, Shamrock. Like Shamrock. Like, you're cool and all, but you're not the mural, my nigga. Like, you ain't the mural, my dude. You're like you simple compared to this. This right here is biblical, mate. There's a good chance that Garling has a power on his sword and on his body. So what if Garling has 2 powers? He has literally his own body power and a sword power that Emu granted him. That's very possible. And I'm not sure that, because Shanks is like that, but I don't know if that applies to his whole family. There could be something particular about the Frigolin family themselves, where them and Deathroots don't mix. That's possible, but Oda has to explain that. So I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but I just want to kind of see what happens in the future, if there actually is a meaningful thing in the future, Because Shamrock could have some crazy half-zone thing going on as well, like Kaido. Normally, I'm not a fan of the idea of Zoro kills X or Zoro kills Y. But if you had a Shamrock 3-headed Cerberus form faced off against a 3-headed Zoro, that's kind of badass. That's kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's kind of fire. That's kind of hot. So $50 again with the mural. My guy, you need to do one for mystery guy, aka Scopper. Nah, man. Who knows? Maybe we get Scopper next chapter. Who knows? So I'm not gonna, because we have a break next chapter apparently. So it could be like, hey, it's boom Scopper. Whoa! Oh my god! Because if that happens, be like, yo, listen, fun. Okay, here we go. But yeah, I'm not trusting Scopper right now. If it is him, or what's his name? Louis Arnott. Okay, and then you drop 100. So for you, and then also I forgot for my wallet too. I'm gonna give both you guys to another Arabian night. Gracias, señor. On World 2 and World 3, with the far left image, I think this was made by kid with future prophecy sight like Shirley, and using what happened with Joy Boy 9 years ago. The image is what happened and will be again in a similar matter. People, not necessarily reincarnation. Okay, so you're just saying that essentially what happened in the past is going to repeat itself again. So it's one and the same, where World 2 and World 3 are the exact same, or they're very similar, where it's not about the it's not about the future, but it's also about the future, where history will like repeat itself. That is an interesting take. That's actually, I think, the first time I've heard that. So essentially you're combining both World 3 and World 2 in the same section of the mural. So you believe that this kid actually had like interesting. That is okay. That's something I made them mark down. I can't say no to that because that's actually a pretty interesting idea. I won't 4-star that one. I'll 2-star. It's not a bad idea at all, because that would fit my conditions and my problems I have with this, but also fit artists too. And maybe a little bit of Eric's and Christian's too, or I guess Christian's and what he thinks about this as well. Where this could also be this could also be a combination of both the past and the future. But again, we're assuming that the kid has fucking future sight. So we're assuming a lot here. We're assuming a lot. Emu's on the same ship as Joy Boy. Sure, but for some reason that feels kind of boring. I don't know. That feels kind of boring. I want Emu to be his own nigga. KRE Divinity, much over the 5. The rulers of Alabasta, Poneglyph were probably the rulers doing those 3 different eras. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Actually, yes, you're saying there. Dirk, much over 5 again. Second world is everyone versus Gorosei. Third world is everyone versus Emu plus Gorosei based on the angels or angles of drawing. Everyone versus the Gorosei, you think is second world? Based on the angles. So are you saying that, hold on, time out. So based on the angles, it's like this is everyone and they're fighting against the 5 elders, and this is second world? And then third world is on top? I'm not saying impossible because you can't. I mean, I can't say who's wrong, who's right here. I just really can't. That this is actually, so it would be, this would be second world. This would be first world. And that's third world. How do we get here, dude? How do we actually get here? I mean, he could be right, though. He could be right. I can't deny that. He could be right, for sure. That's just a lot. If they all say, psych! What if it's Ripley saying, next chapter, psych, actually, I do this on my own free time, I remember a comic book, and I thought it was pretty fun to have Nika like the main character, so this is all bullshit. Lol. Okay, 10, Ziz. The flames of war happens in all 3 without being said, of course. Without being said, because things keep repeating with the sun god Nika fighting Force. Also, goes in line with Vegapunk saying the war is still going on from 900 years ago. Fair. That is fair. That is fair. I'll add the part 2. Karn 20. Mural is World 2. They lost the war, thus never touched the sun. Lily being on Zunisha with the slaves from the 19 countries. Bird is possible an entity of dreams similar to the Worm/demon. Worm, you mean? Linked to the egg on Roger's ship. You thought it was over? You thought we were done with Roger's ship and the egg? Nope. Not bad. It's possible. Nah, you knew. Wait, whoa. You knew the egg was gonna be a factor. Chartard, much love. Or Charitard, I should say. 10. What if the different worlds are literal? World 1 is the moon, where they mine the forbidden star and turned it into a barren moon. They brought it to World 2, which the surface They brought it to World 2, which was the surface before the flood. But how we get World 3? I actually like that idea. That was like kind of smooth. But then World 3 exists. That's like, hold on, time. Because World 3 is clearly on the same planet as World 2. Unless we have to make the assumption, how do we get a separation? Because what you just said actually was kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind of like, actually, they're all from the moon, and then they migrated to the planet. That's kind of fire. I like that idea a lot. And I kind of want to add that in there. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Okay, Char, I kind of do. But why then is World 3, the current world, as the world is today, on the same planet? Is Laugh Tale another world? It could be another plane of existence. Maybe not a whole another world. But it's actually not a bad, that was an interesting ass take. Karn again, much love for 5. Also, remember the Giants with Frankie. Just thinks it's a kid because the mass amount of comprehension picture is a mural. Yeah, fair enough. That's true. Yeah, I support to that. I don't think it's a kid. I think it's probably not a kid. Maybe his schemes bring about Ragnarok. But I think that, listen, folks won't like this, but it's gonna happen. Or I think it'd be cool, not cool, it'll be better for the story if it happened. Actually, and cool too. Blackbeard takes on Emu. Blackbeard assimilates Emu. Blackbeard is the player here, because Blackbeard wants the world. Emu, well, hold on, I've been said this before, but make them think. Blackbeard is the person that people have to keep their eyes on the most. Not Emu. Blackbeard. Blackbeard, him, yes. Jay Garcia Saturn already hinted that Blackbeard has some unique lineage, heritage, and the man can't even sleep. Therefore, he is, you can argue, he's not a true dreamer. He dreams, but he dreams in like a more, like a romantic sort of dream, right? Like romanticism. That's what he does. He dreams about the adventure and conquest and all that kind of stuff, right? That's his play. But he doesn't actually fall asleep to dream. However, we also know that according to, so remember how like they mentioned how in this in these texts they mentioned the people of the moon and half moon. He's a half moon, but he could have ties to the moon in some ways. Because when Oda drew him when he was a kid, we see the moonlight, we see that shot of the moon over Blackbeard. Him in the snow crying, moon shot of Blackbeard. So he could be someone of the moon in some sense. So who knows? But the idea is simple though. Blackbeard has way bigger aspirations in terms of global conquest and global control than someone Emu does. Emu just wants to sit on his fucking throne and chill and just try and run the world and forget about Joy Boy. This man, BB actually wants to conquer. He's a conqueror, full on. So to me, when I think about the forces, if this is a prophetic part of, let's say, World 3 and also it's World 2. So if let's say this is World 2, but also World 3, then this could be Blackbeard. Blackbeard assimilates the powers of Emu, wielding the Mother Flame, and they fight against the sun god Nika and his forces. So it's Blackbeard who winds up being the raid boss, not Emu. That is very possible. That is super possible, particularly if this also involves the treasure that Rox D. Sebek lost. Remember that in the God Valley, in God Valley, the reason why Rox pulls up is because the Marines, they stole a treasure from Rox. What was that treasure? Does that treasure have any significance to the story? Like, for example, it is a piece, a part of the eternal flame, right? There are things that are very important that, and again, people right now are just glazing and they're focusing on Emu, the guy that got shook by a little bit of hockey from Joy Boy. And to be fair, O'Reilly, Blackbeard is aiming for a higher ceiling than Emu. He is. Charles again, 5. Could Scopper be the father and the husband of the giantess and her kid? The kid is 20-something, so the timeline would match. Yeah, it's possible for sure, without that. Dark, again, Dirk, appreciate it for 10. Not everyone versus Gorosei, including Joy Boy. Joy Boy didn't fight Emu in the past. Well, I don't know if he fought at all. I don't know if Emu fought at all, but I see what you're saying, though. Vic LaFleur. Cole, in Norse mythology, they do have a seer as a child, so maybe possibly he's able to see the future on some raven I mean, maybe, I suppose, but Again, I'll just say it because to me, in book 2, they specifically mentioned the flames of war. So I see what you're saying, but I think that no matter what, this image on the left has to be book 2, but it could also be some like a book 3 as well for the future too. Fair enough, but it also should be book 2. I like the idea of it being a combo. That's why I put it down. That I can fuck with that. That was a good idea. So that I put there. Yes, I fuck with that shit. Ziz, last one. Cole, right now. What is this? Yeah. Listen, hold on. So this is me right now, and my boy made a thumbnail for a video and post in a bit. Look at Frankie's face, huh? What the fuck, dude? There's a video coming out. Actually, it's 9 o'clock. Yo. Actually, no. I think. Did we cover everything we need to cover? I think. Like, what do you guys think I missed? Let me know right now, because there's space down here. So, the Toki, but I don't gauge anything at all from that ability. Okay, last donation for YouTube. After this donation on YouTube, I'm done for donations for YouTube. World 3 is more figurative. It's the same as World reshaped by the flood and the immigrants from the moon mirror. The notion of Islam warring on the moon, and Joy Boy is parallel to Yaqub. I don't know who that is. Wait, that's beyond me. I'll be real. That is beyond me. I know about Yakubian energy, but that's a bit different. Do we mention the guys bottom right corner trading their stairs and haze? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that we did for sure. Cause like that we did before. I guess one thing too is that these gears right here look like suns, or they look like eyes. But it depends, I guess, on your perspective on that. Let me do that real quick too. Eyes or suns. It depends on how you want to see it, I suppose. I see suns, some folks see eyes. Like they see almost like what you see in Soul Eater with the Kishin and its eyes, like the vertical eyes. So, not Dr. Yakubian energy. Not. Okay, but I think that's it then. I think we got to everything pretty much. We got to a lot of shit. We got to a lot, but also potentially not enough. Let me see here. Yeah, at the end of the third world could mean Luffy finding the One Piece treasure, thereby the Sun God and Forbidden Sun reunite, or it could mean the convergence of all the oceans since the end of the first world and second world split the world. So this would mean all blue. Yes, potentially. Oh yeah, we didn't get to the other moons, but they're not in this image, and honestly, I don't know if they matter too much. I think the moon, like the main image of the moon over here, matters the most, rather than, let's say, the picture of the moon behind the. So again, I don't know if they matter, but one does have a very similar symbol on it as the belt on the ancient giant / Loki, and also on the world serpent Jormungandr Hellfire serpent. I don't see this mattering, but like, it's in there. It's in there. Bushido, appreciate you for the 11 months. Much love, really do, no doubt. Real quick over on Twitch TV. Nacho, could the mural and third chapter support the theory of One Piece being the reunification of the world? Yes, that we got to as well. So when they meet again, it could be the all blue converging. That's what it could mean. So you get rid of the calamity, the effects of the calamities that we saw in World 1 and World 2 get undone at the end of World 3. And then World 4 is going to be beyond that. My mom is calling me. Give me a second. Wouldn't the destruction of the Red Line create more commotion in the seas rising? No, it depends on how it's done. Like, you could argue that when the Red Line is destroyed, it actually forces the waters to go in to the areas where the Red Line used to be. Therefore, it would actually cause the sea levels to drop dramatically. You could argue that. But in doing so, the Red Line, once it's removed, because it depends how it's done, right? Like, okay, for example, okay, this would be. Oh wait, no sound. No, you can hear me. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me? Nani? Good. So, for example, what if, let's say, Luffy is in supermassive Titanic Gear 4 on some Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann shit, And then he turns the entire red line into rubber. And then the red line becomes a stick. And he just yeets it into space. Or let's say he does some crazy roadway. He grabs the red line, he turns into a roadway between the moon and Earth. Why? I don't know. That's just weird. But it's Gear 5, right? The space where the red line used to be would then get filled in by the water. It would allow for the Grand Line waters and all the blue waters to probably converge. It would also allow for the winds to return to the calm belts, which would able travel between all the blues and the red line is along in your way. There you go. So, to be honest, well, I mean, because when we see the first image of when we see the first image of the Nika, he has a spear. So I just said spear. Why not? So what he takes the red line, turns into one gigantic spear or stick, and he just like, get out of here, dude. Like, okay, we're done. You know, and that's boom. That's end game planet. So you have the water then converge on the spot where the Grand Line used to be. It would just naturally flow that way, and then in doing so, it would force the water levels to go down, not rise, because water has to have been filled in and like displaced in those spots. I like Roger's theory about the world getting flooded even more. Everyone has to flee to the sky. Yeah, that's that Skies of Arcadia shit. Bias I and Finn, that's Skies of Arcadia. Right there. Skies of Arcadia is the show, or it's the video game. That's literally about space, Sky Pirates. Literally. That's 100% Sky Pirate stuff. And it also involves the moons and the powers of the moons and the colors of the moon and forbidden lost technology. Skies of Arcadia and One Piece have very similar themes in many respects, and that I want to do a video on, but I know it's gonna be a huge commitment to do a video on Skies of Arcadia, relearn all the lore of that game, and then compare it to One Piece. That's gonna be a huge commitment, but I do want to do it in the future though. Either way, but this is gonna be mine and yours, meaning my chat's collaboration attempt on the mural. This was a fun time. This is actually a very, very, very fun time. Very fun time. I enjoy this a lot. All right, this is very good stuff. I want to do another version, well, maybe another version of this, but I want to just talk to other guys, other streamers, and the content creators about this stuff next week, hopefully. But yeah, this is our mural, boys. This is our mural. Okay, most of these are mine, but a lot of them are yours too. Some crazy ideas for sure. All right, from crazy ideas, but I like them. We'll take them. All right. So on that note, take care, stay safe, everyone. Peace out. Bless you. Have a nice one.